There is no limit to how a human being can become very motivated, right? I've never seen this clearly until I walked deeper in my spiritual path. So, is it better to walk alone or in company? Buddha said, "It's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool." Or a famous quote, "If you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk together." But the important thing is, who is walking with you? Not always being together is a good thing. Many times being together can be a nuisance. We come alone and we go alone. If one does not know how to be by himself or herself, then being together can be a lot of nuisance. And the truth is, no one can understand me better than me. The more I see, the more I want to walk alone. But sometimes, we tend to divide ourselves within ourselves. Indivisible. When things are going right, when good things are being done, if you ask me, I say, yes, I did it. When things don't go right, when things go wrong, then she's always there. When things turn nasty, I say, it was my ego. But the fact that we try to separate ourselves in order to not take responsibility. The more I walk alone, the more I learn that being an individual is very important. That means you're not further divisible. I used to watch a movie about dissociative identity disorder. It was hard to watch. Heavy chest, want to throw up. That was my feeling. Here's another important question. How many people are within you? 1? 2? Only one? In Vietnam spirituality, it's important to learn this concept. Some Vietnamese parents will treat their kids with deep spiritual roots, like psycho. They don't believe in the fact that their kids are going through darkness or being possessed by bad spirits. If you listen to bad whispers too much, you will get insane, serve the evils, or want to end your life. And through darkness like that, people with deep spiritual roots learn a big lesson about their individuality. No limit. Yes, I see no limit in human physicality. But now I see no limit in spirituality too. It is only human beings who can sit alone and transform himself or herself. Because this is the prerogative of being human, that we can simply be. Society traps us in a compulsive state of activity, always running, always working, always chasing the next distraction, just to avoid sitting in the quiet. But this is why you are called a human being. You're capable of being. When the spirit world pushes you into the dark, you are stripped of all those distractions. You hit the absolute bottom. You feel the heavy chest, the isolation, the fear. But there is only a bottom line. There is no top line. That quiet suffering is actually the universe, carving out an infinite space inside you. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. Because if you continue to try, even if you're tired, even if you're out of motivation, you are rewarded. Maybe not by money, not by promotion, but by living in dignity and peace. The dance of the survivors. This brings us right back to this wisdom. When you want to do a long journey, walk in company. But the important thing is, who is walking with you? You cannot find the right company if you haven't mastered your own limitless solitude first. If you don't know who you are in the quiet, anyone you walk with will just be the nuisance. You will project your ego onto them. You will blame them when things turn nasty. But once you pass the test of walking alone, once you realize your own limitless nature, then coming together becomes hugely rewarding. This is the most beautiful, hidden secret of Vietnamese mother goddess worship. Have you ever watched a mediumship ritual? To a skeptical outsider, it might just look like a loud, chaotic performance. But look at the eyes of the people sitting around the mat. Every single medium, every practitioner who has truly answered their calling, they all walked that same lonely, terrifying road. They all sat in the dark. They all broke past their own bottom line. When they finally come together in the temple, it is not a nuisance. It is a gathering of survivors. They do not have to hide their spiritual weight anymore, because everyone in that room understands the exact horrific pain they went through to get there. They walked the short, brutal journey alone, so they could walk the long journey together. The beauty of the cracked pot. If you are in the middle of that lonely phase, I want you to remember your prerogative as a human being. I cannot say, do not rush the journey. Do not seek out foolish company just to escape the silence. Or give advice like, sit alone, face the whispers, claim your individuality. Because life has lots of experiences, we learn from those. No one can teach us better than ourselves. It takes terrifying patience to sit alone in the dark and wait for the light. It takes a warrior's heart to endure a society that cannot accept or understand you. But every time you accept your own darkness, the moments of nastiness recede. You are clearing out the dust in your soul, making room for the divine. There is a reason the gods chose you. They do not choose the perfect, the polished, or the privileged. They choose the outcasts. They choose the broken, because a flawless, solid pot cannot let the light shine out. Only a pot with cracks can let the light escape into the world. And you know what happens when the light escapes? It doesn't just illuminate your own path. It shines on the people around you. That is the exact moment when coming together becomes so rewarding. You become the torch. Not because you are perfect, but exactly because you are broken and you survived it. This is the true homecoming. It's not about finding a physical temple. It's about returning to your indivisible self. Tomorrow will not suddenly be easy. The whispers might still come. Society might still judge. You will still have moments where you feel nasty, where you fail, where the outcomes are worse than what you thought. But you will not be dividing yourself anymore. You will say, it's me, and I am capable of being.